Thursday and happy July. I have had a weird week. I have filmed a bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to put any of it out there because a lot of it was me in a sort of a funky mood. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. So I got the Vogue 9257 trousers sewn up and they've come out 2 inches too big in the waist, which is weird because I then tried the muslin on and the muslin fits me fine, and I tried them. I did actually film both of those things. Like the muslin is see-through, as I said, and I was just like, Mum was here as well, so I was kind of like showing Mum, but I also filmed it, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm really not going to put myself on the internet in my underwear. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I don't understand why there's no stretch in the fabric. I was talking about this in the live stream on Sunday as well. There is zero stretch in the fabric. The waistband has not been altered in any way, shape or form. I've used the correct seam allowances. Rather than use iron-on interfacing, I actually use calico as interfacing, sew-in interfacing for the waist parts of the trousers, and they're just too big, which is maddening. So I mean, they're beautifully finished, if I say so myself, so I'm going to donate them. They're over there in the naughty pile, not behaving themselves. But having said that, I then went on to work on the Decades of Style and Pearl waist trousers, and these have come out much better, and actually now that they're not in calico, I think I like them a lot more. So I need to adjust the facing pieces because I've cut them out the largest size, and I have taken in the side seams of this so that it fits me at the waist, because I think I told you guys what I was doing with this. I traced the largest size of these trousers, sewed up the inner leg seams and the crotch seam, and then pinned the side seam to myself to work out what size I needed it to be, and then I transferred those markings over to the pattern. I traced out the facing at the largest size as well, so I just need to alter the facing down to my size, interface it and sew it in and hem these, and then they're done. Yeah, this is a really fine needle cord. I got this from Sherwood Fabrics. I ordered this and they sent me a beautiful mustardy coloured one, and I had ordered the Cadbury's purple, which is what this is called, and they by in error cut me and sent me the like a mustard coloured one. So I have 3 meters of that as well, which is great because it's a really lovely fabric and I really like that mustard colour as well. They let me buy that for half price, or I could have returned it, but they were like, you can have it for half price, it's been cut, so I had it for half price. Pleased with how these have come out. That's what I've come down today to do, is finish these off, so the waistband on, hem them, and then show you guys what they look like. I've also finished the 2 8947 dresses that I cut out. So I did the Morning Glory one during the hangout on Sunday, and then I finished this one Sunday evening and then started on these. I had sewn the bodices on Saturday evening, so it wasn't all done in, like, I didn't make 3 things in one day. I really like how these have come out. I really like them. I've been leaving them to hang because they are circle skirts, but I don't think that the hems have dropped on the bias at all, so I think I can just, oh bum. I was going to say a much ruder word then. I was meant to have ordered some white bias binding so that I can finish the hems off on those, and I completely forgot to do that. So I won't be able to finish the hems off on those today, but never mind, it's not the end of the world. I have plenty to be getting on with. It's nice to be back in the sewing room. I'm looking forward to getting some more things finished and then working with this pile. I will report back later with finished trousers, and I will show you what the dresses look like on as well. Okay, I have finished the trousers. Sorry, you're kind of looking down because trousers. I don't know if I like them. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I think they actually meant to be a little bit higher waisted than this. I don't know. You know what? I'm really not sure. And my battery's dying. Let me put a new battery in. Okay, let's try again. So I've just actually been up to show Mum and Dad for these trousers. They really like them. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I like me in them. I like the idea of them, but I just, yeah, I don't know. I feel really, I don't know. The velvet's all going the right way, so they're not velvet, they're cord, but the cord has a nap, and so the cord's going, the nice way is going that way, so it feels, so I keep stroking my legs is what I'm trying to get to. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think they fit quite well. Like there's room in the waist, but it's not baggy like the denim trousers came out. Like there was, like I said, there was 2 inches of room in those denim trousers. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. I also think that I don't know if these are meant to be slightly higher up. If they are, no, they're not, because I measured from the waist marking, which is on the pattern, and did the crotch depth from there, and the waist marking is sitting on my, yeah. So it is, this bit is meant to be, my waist is here, so this is where it's meant to be. I don't know, I really want to like these. I think it maybe is that I just don't like my shape at the moment, and I think that might be, this highlights my shape a lot more than the other sorts of things that I wear. As you guys know, I tend to wear sort of fitted tops and much more voluminous bottoms because I kind of want to hide this area, and these do not do that. They are very they're not tight, but they're skimming, so I'm thinking maybe that's why I'm not loving these, is because I'm not loving the way I look at the moment, and this kind of highlights it rather than hides it. Maybe that's my issue. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what you guys think in the comments. I don't know. I'm going to say that a lot. I'm not sure which trousers I'm going to work on next. Probably the Pauline Alice Sorrel trousers, because I've traced them, which is a good start, and they are much more wide-legged and sit on my actual waist. Because like, I think another thing that I would, because I was thinking about making these ones in denim. 2 secs. And I know you guys don't, I know I don't have to put a belt on with everything, but it just makes me feel slightly better about my waist. So I was going to put like belt loops on the denim ones. So I don't know, maybe that makes me feel better about it. Oh, I don't know. My shape has changed so much recently that I'm trying to find ways of dressing myself that are comfortable for me, and then I'm trying to not just make the same dress over and over again. I am going to show you guys those 2 dresses in a second, and you'll see what I mean. Those 2 are very, very me, fitted bodice, big full skirt. So this is definitely outside of my comfort zone, and I don't know how I feel about that. So one of the things that I wanted to do was make these in denim with some big belt loops here, because I thought that could make them look a little bit more casual, because I know you don't have to wear this with a belt. I know you don't have to. It's just something that I like doing. It would be something that, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see this footage back. I'm going to tip you down just a little bit more so you can see the full length of them. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. Get far enough back. I mean, these are not wide legged, are they? You know, they are wide leg trousers. I like the cuff on them. I'm not sure. And I think I'm going to tip you back up now. Yeah, I think one of the things that clothing needs to do for us is make us feel confident and feel, so yeah, make us feel confident and not self-conscious. And I feel really self-conscious in these, which is my own personal feeling about wearing these things. I know we were talking the other day, and I can't remember if it was in a live stream or if it was in a video. I think it might, actually it was the lookbook, wasn't it? Everybody in the comments there was so lovely. I did put those little annotations up just saying please don't point out that these are too tight. I know that, I can see that now that I've watched it back. I had somebody comment previously and just say, looks like you're making it looks like you're trying to squeeze yourself into a dress you made a couple of years ago. And that really hit home for me, because my shape is changing, and that's just normal. That's what happens. We're human beings. We are all different shapes at all different times in our lives. I am not doing anything. I mean, I'm eating sensibly most of the time, but I'm not doing any exercise to try and change my shape in any way. It's something that I want to rectify. I'm trying to work out where I'm going to exercise. I need some room. My bedroom has not got enough room in it. But there were loads of people in the comments that were saying, oh, you know, I'd kill for your shape, I'd kill for your figure. I am aware that I like to think that I dress well, which hides the things that I'm not happy about, as I've mentioned. I think it was Dita Von Teese said that she was in an interview and somebody had asked her if she had any bits of her body that she didn't like, and she said, yes, of course I do, but I'm not going to tell you about them, because not to draw attention to them. And you know, why celebrate or why talk about the things that you dislike about yourself when there's so much to like about yourself? Everybody is I don't think I've met one person who is 100% completely confident in their own skin all of the time. I mean, I have issues about my body. My shape has massively changed, and I still put weight on proportionally, but I have new things that I'm having to deal with that I've never had before, and having to pack away pretty much most of my wardrobe recently was kind of upsetting as well, because I made all these beautiful clothes, but I made them all for this person that doesn't exist anymore, and that's fine. And as I say, I'm not doing anything to change the shape that I'm in, other than stressing about it and worrying about it, and then eating my feelings, which is not what we should be doing, or not what I should be doing. And this is the thing. But then so many people in the comments were like, oh, I'd love to look like you, or you know, there's loads of people that I would love to look like as well, and I don't, and I need to learn to be way more comfortable in my own body than I am at the moment. I think there's a cosplayer, Scraps and Sequins, and she'd just made herself a bootstrap fashion mannequin. She's made a video about it, so I'll link that down below, but she had all sorts of feelings about making another version of herself, and being confronted with a 3D version of what you technically look like was quite a lot for her. Yeah, that's another reason that I've not done one of those, is because I'm terrified, because in my head I look a certain way, and I know I don't look like that anymore. Things have changed, and as I say, I'm still not doing anything about it to change those. I keep thinking about it and starting, and then I injure my knee, or I hurt my ankle, or my hip flexors bugger up, and then they don't work, and then, like Mum says, I tend to, rather than ease into it, I jump right in at the deep end, and I tend to do this with everything in my life. Jump it right into the deep end, and I either sink or swim, and a lot of the time recently I have been sinking. So this is a real tangent for a pair of trousers, isn't it? But I think that's maybe why I am not immediately like, oh my gosh, I love these, because they are kind of highlighting every single thing that I currently dislike about myself and want to camouflage and hide. So I'm going to try on those dresses now, and we'll see how kind of like I think you can tell I'm feeling a little bit like exposed. So I'm going to try those dresses on, and we'll see how they look and how I feel in those. This is all how I feel about myself, and it's lots of other people can say what they think about your shape and the way that you look, which majority, as I say, in the lookbook video, everybody was super positive, which was amazing. But reading all that stuff and actually having that, you know, go in up there is I don't know why my brain is like, oh, let's just self-sabotage, that's way easier. So yeah, anyway, trousers. Trousers that I am not sure about, but again, I would love to hear what you guys think about all of that, and hopefully I have articulated myself well. I didn't plan any of that, that's just kind of like, so I hope the last thing I want to do is offend anyone. These are my opinions and my feelings about my body, and I'm not projecting that onto anyone else. I'm not saying anyone else needs to look a certain way, act a certain way, have a certain lifestyle or anything like that. This is all my thoughts about me and how I feel about me. So yeah, So constructive comments, which you guys are really good at. There's very few people that are actively negative, and you know what, I have the ability to block them if they are. So if you do feel like being a negative person in the comments, that's fine, but you won't be allowed to comment again going forward. So I am going to get changed into the dresses and I'll show you those, and we'll see how I feel in them. But I made trousers. This is my second pair. My first pair, the wide leg ones, it was annoying that the waist didn't fit, but I felt way more comfortable in them than I do with these. Which is mad, isn't it? But there you go. And I'm still not going to show you those ones because they are in the naughty corner, and I just know. Bad trousers. So I'm going to get changed in the dresses and let's have a look at those. I am in dress number 1 that still needs hemming. They're not going to drop on the bias, but I haven't got enough white bias binding to hem them at the moment, so I need to remember to order that this evening. So this is a Vogue 8947 in a quilting cotton, and it is much more typical for me. So it's got full skirt with pockets in, and this is a 5-panel circle skirt. I kind of panelled the front and then just used a half the full circle skirt back pieces that I usually do for the back, and that's worked fine. The other one is a directional print, so the print got a little squiffy at the sides, but I think it's worked. You'll see in a second. It's a fitted bodice, high at the back, nice square neckline. It is a little bit kind of gapey at the neckline, but not badly. This time round I didn't put in a waistband. I've made this dress before. There is a review for it as well. Is that the right side? I think it is. I don't know. There is a video reviewing or showing you the 7 dresses that I'd made with this bodice previously. My previous one was a size 8 and a B cup. This is a size 12 and a D cup, and it fits me much better. There is breathing room in this one, which I think when I put this on for the first time I was a little disappointed because my other ones really sucked me in, but that's because I'd made them and then put a little bit of weight on, so they were like probably a little too tight for me. This one actually has wearing ease in it. I feel so much more confident in this because it's highlighting the bits that I want to highlight, my bust and my waist, and it's skimming over the bit that I don't like, which is my thighs basically. And you know what, actually, you know what, my hips and my bum I'm fine with. It's my tummy, and I know it's not a big tummy, and again, this is my issue about my body. I'm not saying anyone else needs to have, if you have a figure like mine, there's nothing wrong with it. I am aware of that, but again, self-sabotaging brain. This kind of hides my stomach. I remember I was at an event and somebody saw me from a different angle, because that's another thing, I get to control the angles you guys see me from, and they were like, oh yeah, you do have a stomach, don't you? And it was like, yeah, fully aware of that, thanks for pointing it out. I like to think that I dress to camouflage that to a certain degree, so I feel way more comfortable in this than I do in those trousers. I mean, like, there's just a lot of fabric down here. I don't think it's swamping me, and I think because it's all fitted at the top, I can have it big at the bottom. Lots of you guys was talking about the 8013 and that it was, your opinions on that are really interesting actually, because half of you love it and half of you hate it. Hate's a strong word, but, and again, you're all being very constructive in your comments for that video, and it's one of those things where it's like, I agree with you, I don't like that dress on me, I think it's too frumpy. The bodice is blues on, there's a big skirt which is gathered in at the waist, and that is some fine fabric. It's really fine fabric, and it's still making it look big. And then the sleeves, it didn't help that I hadn't cuffed the sleeves properly. I think if they'd have been actually tight at my wrist, it would have been a slightly different look. The sash on the envelope is wider and like put around here, which hides all of the pleating detail in the bodice that is there. And it definitely looks more empire line, and I think you guys are right. If that sash had looked like it did on the pattern envelope, that dress would be very different. But the sash, I made it according to the pattern, and again, this was a wearable muslin. The 8013 was a wearable muslin. If it came out as a wearable dress, it would have been great, and it was an evening dress. It wasn't meant to be a day dress. Quite a few people were saying it looks a bit evening to me. I was like, yes, it's meant to. It is an evening gown. It was, you know, inexpensive fabric, trying our pattern to see if I liked it, because in theory I love it. In reality, not so much. And the Pinterest image that I'm trying to recreate, when you really look at that, there's a smooth line around the waist, there's no blouson effect in the bodice. Yes, she's got big sleeves on, yes, it's a big skirt, but it's very much more streamlined than the 8013. There is just a lot of fabric in that, and I do feel like I'm being eaten by that dress. That dress, I won't be moving forward with it. There's lots of stuff that I could do to it to make it more like I want it to be, but then there are already patterns that I have in my stash that will work for that. Another thing I've realised is as well, I don't like faux wrap fronts because I don't like how the finish of those turns out on the inside of these dresses. And again, that's a personal preference of mine because I don't like to overlock dresses, the insides of woven dresses. There's just personal preference. I French seam and bias bind. Sometimes I pink my seams as well if there's going to be a lining that you won't then have lots of friction against your skin, but that's just how I prefer to make clothes. And again, totally personal preference. If you like overlocking the inside of your dresses, you do you. That's the nice thing about sewing. You can do whatever you want to achieve the result that you want. I could fuss with that pattern, but why? Hang on, let me show you the other dress. How should we do this? Because I want to sit down and talk to you. I'm going to put the other dress on, I'll show you that really quickly, and then I'll sit down and I'll chat. And this is going to be a really long video. If you've made it this far, well done. Okay, and very quickly, here is the other dress. It's exactly the same as the Morning Glory one. The only difference with this is that this is a directional print, and the side seams here, the print's going that way because, as I say, I cut the back circle pieces, the back skirt pieces on without paneling them, but the print is going the right way up the centre back, so I think I get away with it. I have pockets in here again somewhere, there you go, pocketses, which I will do in quilting cottons because I feel like they can take it, but I tend to avoid in lighter weight fabrics like cotton lawns and viscoses because I tend to think that they actually drag the fabric down and sometimes are visible. But again, exactly the same bodice as the one previously, size 12 with a D cup. Anyway, I'm going to take you over here so I can chat to you more. So I was saying the 8013, I'm not going to persevere with that pattern. There's too many things that need to be changed in it. That there are already existing patterns out there that are closer to what I want. And as I say, this Pinterest image, looking at it, there's no gathering around the waist. It's a much deeper butt plunge, which is way too deep, and I wouldn't want it that deep anyway because I'd want to be able to wear a bra. So I'm thinking I'm going to adapt one of my patterns that has a midriff so that I can still have the plunge, maybe even a surplice, something like the Deer and Doe Magnolia, but I'm not saying that one for definite, but I can just in my head, that's kind of what I'm thinking, sort of like a plunging V, midriff panel, full length circle skirt, but with no gathering at the waist, and then the big sleeves with deeper cuffs, because a lot of you guys were saying in the 8013 if the cuffs were deeper that would help as well, and I agree with you on that one. The 8013, I'm glad that I've made it. I'm not going to persevere with it. It's just not the pattern for me. It's not right for me. And there are some if you guys don't follow Skirt Boss on Instagram, you definitely should. She makes some amazing things. She's made 2 of the 8013s and looks stunning in them, absolutely beautiful in them. I can't think of anyone else that I know other than Rachel's made us 8013, and she had some similar comments to, or similar thoughts about it to me. She said she felt like she was being swamped by the dress, eaten by the dress. It's not just me. But I'm glad that I tried it. I am glad that I've tried it because, you know, it's one of those ones that I've had for the longest time. I love the idea of it. In reality, it's just not for me, which is fine. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, I feel so much more confident in what I'm wearing now than I did in those trousers. I think the trousers fit well. They don't feel too tight or too loose anywhere. I think they skim everything that they should. I've made, if I say so myself, I've made them really well. They're, you know, they're finished nicely on the inside. I want to like them. I just feel very vulnerable in them because my body image in my head and my actual physical being are very different things. I know there is body dysmorphia, and I don't think that's what I have. I think I just have a disconnect from how I used to look and how I think of myself in my head to how I am now. That's just something that I'm trying to work out for myself and get myself feeling comfortable in my own skin. At the moment, I don't. It's one of those things. It is one of those things, and that's fine, and it happens to everybody, I'm sure, and we all have different ways of dealing with it, and I am trying. But for me, clothing is meant to make me feel confident, and you know, it's like the armor that you put on before you go out into the world, and you want to feel your best self, and you don't want to go out feeling self-conscious about this, that or the other. And I've done that in the past and I've had a horrible time because I've been worrying about the things that I'm self-conscious about rather than enjoying the experience of being out and doing the thing that I'm meant to be doing. So for me, when I get dressed, I tend to wear things that make me feel confident, which happens to be tight-fitting bodices that emphasize my waist and that skim over and hide the lower half of my body at the moment. Not always been the case. Definitely not always been the case, but for me at the moment that's what I'm making. And I have been getting a few comments just saying you make the same silhouette over and over and over again, fitted bodice, big skirt, and I am trying different things, as we've seen with the trousers. I have made pencil skirts in the past, the Vogue sew along, can't remember the number of it, but I have made that. I loved that dress. I actually felt quite confident in that dress, but I also felt overdressed in that dress. That wasn't, to me, that was something that I would have worn to the office if I had worked in an office. Then the Eve dress, which is something that I love and wear frequently, I feel that for me is an everyday dress. I know they probably for some people would be the other way around, or they're both as dressy as each other, but for me the pencil skirt felt very, very overdressed and an Eve dress feels very, very appropriate. So everybody has their own opinions about what they feel comfortable wearing to what kind of events. I also recently, in the Peeps group, there was a question raised by the very lovely Nancy, was what do you wear when you're sewing? And she said she knows that I get dressed up every day, but what does everybody else wear? And one of the reasons I get dressed up every day is because this is my job. I work from home and it would be so easy for me to put on my jogging bottoms, a t-shirt, and that just be what I wear every day. And I have also had many comments about, blimey, you make a lot of clothes, you have a very big wardrobe, what do you do with it all? Well, I wear it, and I wear it daily, and I wear it to come to work. It's quite nice coming out of my bedroom to another place to go to work. It was the same in the last place. You know, I left my house to go to work, same, you know, plot of land, but it's the same here. I have to leave the house to come to work, and I enjoy getting dressed up for work. I always have. The few times I have had jobs where I get to wear my own clothes, I've always enjoyed putting outfits together. They're not the most convenient things for trying on stuff whilst I'm sewing, definitely not. I usually am covered in lint and bits of thread and all sorts of things like that. Like I say, it'd be very easy for me to just kind of wear secret pajamas or actual pajamas every day to work, but I enjoy clothes so much that I want to wear the pretty things that I make, because otherwise it kind of became like I'm making all this stuff and when the hell will I wear it if I don't wear it in a day-to-day basis? And again, that's not to say that that's what you should do. You need to do what's right for you, and that's what Nancy was asking, is like, what's everybody's go-to for your sewing time? And again, not everybody's full-time job is sewing. It's a hobby that you get to do. So lots and lots of people were answering in the Peeps group that whatever they put on that day, some of them specifically get dressed knowing that they're going to need to take things off to try things that they're making on, so they take that into account. Quite a few people replied that they end up in their bra and knickers because they're trying stuff on and off so often that it's just easier. But some of you can sew barefoot, some of you can sew with shoes on. I personally am a shoe sewer, not a barefoot sewer. Even if I'm wearing my socks on, I want to put my slippers on because they have a sole on them, so it just feels better for me. But it was really interesting reading everyone's responses to that. Sorry, this has been, I mean, this is going to be a really long video because there was a really long intro as well, wasn't there? I hope I haven't triggered anyone for any kind of body image issues whatsoever. I can just speak to my experience and what I'm living through, going through, and why my initial reaction to those trousers was, oh gosh no. I just felt really exposed in them, and in this I feel so much more comfortable. I really do. And that's not to say that I'm never going to make trousers again. As I've said, I'm going to try and work on the Pauline Alice trousers next. I think I might like those ones. I also have some Vogue trousers that are very much more like the Dorothy Perkins trousers that I cloned and made a whole bunch of previously. I made jumpsuits and actual just trousers out of them. This Vogue pattern's very like that, which is really super wide-legged, and I have a feeling that I'm going to be more comfortable in those. But I do want some denim trousers because I enjoy wearing my denim skirt an awful lot, and I feel like denim goes with everything, so I want to try and persevere and make some trousers out of a denim fabric that I enjoy wearing. But the Vogue trousers need a light floaty fabric like a viscose, which is what I'm going to use, and if I did those in denim they might look a bit, the denim's not lightweight enough for that, definitely not. I'm gonna stop rambling now. I'm going to carry on sewing. I'm going to work on the waistcoat next that goes with those trousers, because I might feel differently about it as an outfit. I like the waistcoat. I've made one in the cream Bissou fabric. You know, I may well feel different about those trousers as an outfit. I might, this top might have been the wrong thing to pair with them, but I did kind of like how that outfit looked. I did feel way more comfortable with the belt on. Before anyone goes for me, I know I don't have to wear a belt with everything, but I did feel way more comfortable with the belt on than off. If I have enough fabric, which I don't think I do, I would probably have had a belt made by Harlequin in the same fabric. That would have been very cool. I can still get this fabric because, as I say, I got it from Sherwood, so again I'll have listed it down in the description box below. I'm also thinking that if I have a big billowy bishopy sleeve shirt, then the trousers and the waistcoat on, I'm going to look really Wonka as well, which I'm kind of digging. That's been a really long video. It's been a lot to digest. Again, please be kind in the comments. You got to this far. Please be kind in the comments and constructive to me and each other as well, because I know some of the things I've talked about can be really triggering issues. So the last thing I wanted was to offend anybody or hurt anybody, but again, I'm just speaking from my personal experience and how I feel about myself at the moment. I hope you've enjoyed the waffle. There's been a lot of it, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.